everything's just about ready. Oh, you're leaving, Jonathan? Goodbye. Goodbye, Dr. Einstein. Oh, doesn't this case belong to you?
That's right, Jonathan. You can't leave without all of your things. Oh, well, Officer O'Hara, it was nice talking to you. We'll get together sometime and talk about your...
I'm not leaving now, Mr. Brewster.
Why not?
Well, you just offered to help me with my play, didn't you? You and me, we're gonna write my play together.
I can't, O'Hara. I'm not a creative writer.
I'll do the creating. You just put the words to it.
But O'Hara,
No, sir, Mr. Brewster. I'm not leaving this house until I tell you the plot.
Well, in that case, Mortimer will be running along.
Don't try that, Jonathan. You can't go yet. You can't leave without everything. Now, O'Hara, we'll get together sometime and talk about your play. You've got to ring in.
I can wait. I've been waiting 12 years.
I'm sorry I was late.
Don't bring that in here. Officer O'Hara, won't you join us for a bite in the kitchen?
The kitchen? Jonathan's leaving. Oh, well, that's nice. Come on in, Officer O'Hara. You're sure you don't mind eating in the kitchen, Officer O'Hara?
And where else would you eat?
Goodbye, Jonathan. Nice to have seen you again.
I'm glad you came back to Brooklyn, Jonathan. It gives me another chance to throw you out. And the first one out is your boyfriend, Mr. Spinelzo.
Look, Mr. Brewster, we can talk in here.
Coming right out.
I might have known you'd grow up to write a play with a policeman.
Now get going. All three of you.
Doctor, this affair between me and my brother has got to be settled.
But Johnny, your brother gives us a chance to get away. What more could you ask for?
You don't understand, Doctor. This goes back a good many years.
Just come on, Johnny, let's just get going.
We're not going. We're going to stay right here.
With a cop in the kitchen and Mr. Spinelzo in the window seat.
That's all she's got on us. We'll take Spinelzo down and dump him in the bay. We'll come back here, and if she tries to interfere, well...
Now, Johnny.
Doctor, you know when I make up my mind.
Yeah, when you make up your mind, you lose your head. Brooklyn ain't a good place for you.
Doctor!
Okay. But we have to stick together. Sometimes we get stuck together. If you're coming back here, do we have to take these with us?
No, leave them here. Hide them in the cellar. Move fast.
Okay. Johnny, down to the cellar.
What's the matter?
You know that hole, Teddy dog?
Yes?
We have an ace in the hole. Come on, I show you.
Jonathan!
Yes, Mortimer?
What are you doing here? I thought I told you to get out of here.
We're not going.
Oh, you're not, eh? Do you want me to tell Officer O'Hara what's in the window seat?
We're staying right here.
Very well. That gets rid of you and Officer O'Hara. Officer O'Hara, come in here.
If you told O'Hara about what's in the window seat, I'll tell her about what's down in the cellar.
The cellar?
Yes. There's an elderly gentleman down there who happens to be very dead.
What were you doing down in the cellar?
What is he doing down in the cellar?
Now what are you going to tell O'Hara?
Say, Mr. Brewster, your aunts want to hear it too. Shall I get them in here?
No, O'Hara, you've got to go and bring in.
Oh, forget bringing in. I'll get your aunts in here and tell you the plot.
O'Hara, not in front of all these people. Listen, we'll get together someplace sometime, alone.
Oh, how about the back room at Kelly's?
Fine, I'll meet you at the back room at Kelly's.
Why don't you two go down to the cellar?
That's fine with me. Is this the cellar?
No! Look, We're going to head over to Kelly's, and you're going to ring in on the way, okay?
All right, that'll only take a couple of minutes.
I'll ditch her and be back in 5 minutes. When I return, I expect to find you gone. Wait for me.
Oh, we'll wait for him. I've waited many years for an opportunity like this.
Oh, we have him right where we want him. Did he look guilty?
Yes. Take the bags upstairs.
Have they left? Oh, we thought we heard somebody leave.
It was just Mortimer, and he'll be back in a few minutes. Say, is there anything left to eat in the kitchen? I think Dr. Einstein and I would enjoy a bite.
But you won't have time.
No, if you're still here when Mortimer gets back, he won't like it.
Oh, he like it. He got to like it.
There's a friend of Mortimer's downstairs waiting for him.
Waiting for who?
Yes, a friend of Mortimer's. He'll get along just fine with Mr. Spinello. They're both dead.
You can't bury Mr. Spinalzo in the cellar. No.
Why not?
It's crowded already.
It's crowded. With what?
There are 12 graves down there now.
12 graves?
That leaves very little room, and we are going to need it.
You mean to say that you and Aunt Martha have murdered?
Murdered? Certainly not. It's one of our charities.
Why, what we've been doing is a mercy.
But you've done that in this house, and you've buried them down there.
So you just take whoever you want to put down there and get him out of here.
Johnny, we've been chased all over the world, and they stayed right here in Brooklyn. And do just as good as you do.
What?
Well, what I mean is, they have 12 and you have 12.
I've got 13.
No, you have 12.
I've got 13. There's Mr. Spinello, the first one in London, 2 in Johannesburg, 1 in Melbourne, 1 in Sydney, 2 in San Francisco, 1 in Phoenix,
Phoenix?
the filling station, 3 in Chicago, and 1 in South Bend. That makes 13.
But you can't count the one in South Bend. He died of pneumonia.
He wouldn't have died of pneumonia if I hadn't shot him first.
No, Johnny, he died of pneumonia. He don't count.
He counts with me. I say 13.
No, Johnny, the 80s do just as good as you do. They have 12 and you have 12.
Oh, they do they? Well, that's easily fixed. All I need is 1 more. Just 1 more.
Well, here I am.
You stop doing that.
This is our house, and this is our cellar, and you can't do that.
Ladies, please, go back upstairs where you belong.
Aunt Abby, Aunt Martha, go upstairs.
There's no use you're doing what you're doing because it will just have to be undone.
I tell you we won't have it, and you'd better stop it right now.
All right. You'll find out whose house this is.
I'm warning you, you'd better stop it. Hasn't Mortimer come in yet? No. It's a terrible thing to do. Bury a good Methodist with a foreigner.
Oh, I will not have our cellar desecrated.
And we promised Mr. Hoskins a full Christian funeral. Where do you suppose Mortimer went?
I don't know, but he must be doing something because I heard him say to Jonathan, "You just wait, I'll settle this."
Well, he can't very well settle it while he's out of the house, can he? That's all we want settled. What's going on down there?
All right now, I've got to see Teddy.
Mortimer, where have you been?
I've been over to Dr. Gilchrist. Why, I've got his signatures on Teddy's commitment papers.
Mortimer, what is the matter with you?
Running around getting papers signed at a time like this?
Do you know what Jonathan's doing?
He's putting Mr. Hoskins and Mr. Spinalzo in together.
Oh, he is he? We'll let him. I've got to see Teddy.
Teddy won't be any help.
Once Teddy signs these, then I can tackle Jonathan.
What have they got to do with it?
You had to go and tell Jonathan about those 12 graves. If I can make Teddy responsible for those, I can protect you. Don't you see?
No, I don't see. And we pay taxes to have the police protect us.
I'll be back down in a minute.
Come, Martha. We're going for the police.
Oh, the police? Oh, you can't go for the police.
And why not?
Because if you tell the police about Mr. Spinelzo, they'll find out about Mr. Hoskins. And that might make them curious. And then they'd find out about the other 12 graves.
Mortimer, we know the police better than you do. I don't think they'd pry into our private affairs if we asked them not to.
If they found out about your 12 gentlemen, they'd have to report to headquarters.
Oh, I don't know. They'd have to make a very long report. And if there's one thing a policeman hates to do, it's write.
You can't depend on that. It might leak out. And you can't expect a judge or jury to understand.
Oh, Judge Coleman would.
We know him very well.
He always comes to church to pray, right before election.
And he's coming here to tea someday. He promised.
Abby, we must remember to speak to him about that. His wife died last winter, and it's left him very lonely.
Well, come along, Martha.
No, you can't go. I won't let you. And you can't have Judge Coleman to tea.
Oh. Well, if you're not going to do something about Mr. Spinalzo, we are.
I am doing something. We may have to call the police in later, but if we do, I want to be ready for them.
You've got to get Jonathan out of this house.
And Mr. Spinalzo, too.
Will you please let me do this my own way? I've got to see Teddy.
All right, Mortimer, but if they're not out of this house by morning, we're going for the police.
Oh, they'll be out all right. I can promise you that. Go to bed, will you? And good heavens, get out of those clothes. You look like Judith Anderson.
Who? Well, Abby, that's a relief, isn't it?
Yes, if Mortimer's really going to do something at last, it just means that Jonathan's going to a lot of unnecessary trouble. We'd better tell him. Oh, Jonathan, you might as well stop what you're doing.
It's all done. Did I hear Mortimer?
Well, it will just have to be undone. You're all going to be out of this house by morning. Mortimer's promised.
Oh, are we? Well, in that case, you and Aunt Martha can run along and have a pleasant night's sleep.
Yes. Come along, Abby.
Good night, aunties.
Not good night, Jonathan. Goodbye. By the time we get up, you will be out of this house. Mortimer's promised.
And he has a way of doing it, too.
Then Mortimer is back.
Oh, yes, he's just up here talking to Teddy.
Goodbye, Jonathan.
Goodbye, Jonathan.
Perhaps you'd better say goodbye to Mortimer.
Oh, you'll see Mortimer.
Yes, I'll see Mortimer.